Hey everyone, welcome back to Sweet Beat TV. I'm your host, Sienna Leone, and today I'm so excited to say we have UPSAHL back. Hey, how are you?
What's up? How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm good. So good to see you. Like I was saying, you look amazing and you've had such great career highlights. So congrats to you.
Thank you. Thanks for taking the time. You look gorgeous. Wait, are you in LA?
I am in LA.
Okay. So we're both on our early morning
We
Zoom. Love
we
it.
are. We are. We love the morning though. This is a great way to start the morning. But let's dive in here because, like I said, such amazing stuff in your career. So you've been busy. I mean, you just released your volume 3 tape. So tell me a little bit about this.
Yeah, I mean, I've been working on this big project called the Phoenix Tape since like the start of this year. And it honestly was just a result of me like feeling so inspired in the studio. And I had all of these songs and I was like, I need to figure out how to get all of these out like immediately. And so I somehow convinced my team to let me do like 2 songs at a time for the rest of the year and put them on a project called the Phoenix Tape. So like instead of having like each single, it's like volume 1, volume 2, 3, 4, so on. So this is volume 3. And this one's cool because I wrote 0 or 100 while I was on tour, like in Stockholm, like did a quick little session before I went to do like sound check. And like we wrote the song and recorded it in a couple of hours. And I was like, this needs to come out like immediately. And now it's like a little over a month later and the song's out. So I'm really like stoked that I was able to like move so quickly with putting the song that I was most excited about like out into the world.
So where did the name come for you to name these Phoenix tapes, volume 3, volume 4?
Yeah, it was, I mean, I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and I kind of wanted, I mean, I realized like kind of at the beginning of the year when I was in doing so many sessions and just feeling like so good about making music and feeling very like experimental. I didn't really focus in on like any specific genre. It kind of started to remind me of how I felt when I was making music back in Phoenix as a kid, which like at the time I had like no idea who I was, what type of music I wanted to make. So it allowed for like so much freedom in the studio and like that's the type of freedom I was feeling. And so I kind of wanted to make this entire project as like an ode to where I'm from and like where I got my start in music. And I mean, volume 1, volume 2, volume 3 are just like numbering the releases basically. But yeah, I wanted it to just be all about Phoenix and I wanted the visuals to feel like the desert. And like, yeah, I just wanted it to be like kind of a snapshot of what Phoenix feels like to me.
Hometown, I love that. I love that. Phoenix has a special place in my heart. I went to school there, so I'm like, I love to see anything like that.
Wait, where did you go?
University of Arizona.
Crazy. Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, I did journalism school out there, but you know, dedicating this to your hometown, how special is that? And then you've had such I love anything that hits home that way. And I know your music too, like you tie it back to you a lot, which I love. It tells a story about you. It allows the viewers to kind of get another side of UPSAHL. Okay, so I want to know the inspiration for A side 0 to 100 and B side FBL. Tell me about this. What story is it telling of you?
Yeah. Thank you. I mean, with 0 or 100, that was very much just kind of an idea that I had like the morning before going into the studio. And I was just feeling so chaotic in my life. I feel like I feel that way a lot of the times, like when I'm traveling a lot. And was just sort of realizing like I was either on like 0, like super sad or like super not feeling myself, or like on 100, performing on stage. Like it's one or the other, even with like, especially with adrenaline on tour. It's either like you're on stage and everything's amazing, or you're like back at your hotel room, like sad and alone. So it's like I was kind of just feeling these like extreme highs and extreme lows on the tour and wanted to write a song about that. And 0 or 100 made a lot of sense as a title. And that was one where it felt like we just like blacked out and then the song existed like an hour or two later. And I just remember like listening to the demo like over and over and over again in my headphones. And I decided like that day, I texted everyone on my team. I was like, we have the next song, like we have to put this out. So that was like that one means a lot to me. And I feel like it's very much my story, very personal. So I hope that people, can relate in some way. And then FBL is sort of a similar like existential, I don't know, concept, but in a very fun, like joking way. And I just feel like it's such a fun way to talk about like the bad things that happen to you. And so I wanted, yeah, just like a fun play on it. So they're both like two different sides of a serious topic, but one is, you know, FBL is way more fun, I guess.
Well, I'm so excited for everyone to hear this because I mean, your music has reached some of the biggest people out there. Some of the biggest publications are talking about you. I just want to do a little humble brag for you, but you know, some of the biggest publications like Billboard, so many more, they're calling you the pop's next it girl, one of the most exciting voices in music, a musical force to be reckoned with, and so many amazing other things. So when you hear this from, like I said, some of the biggest people in our industry, tell me what goes through your mind. Is it still so surreal to you?
Definitely. I think like every day that I get to just like wake up and do music as my job is like so surreal. I feel like it's really easy being in the industry that we're all in to like get so in your head of like comparing yourself to other people or just
Right.
like comparing your journey to others. And I think the fact of the matter is like as a kid, like growing up, all I wanted was to have music be my job. And I've been getting to do that, and I get to go play Lollapalooza this weekend and like get to tour and get to put out projects, and I'm working on an album for next year. And it's like that's the dream. I think like it's so easy to get so hyper fixated on like the end goal, which like who even knows what that is at this point. I think just enjoying the process of it all has been the most rewarding thing for me, for sure.
Yeah, living out your dreams. I mean, what a blessing.
Yeah, it's been really, really fun. I feel very, very lucky for sure.
Now, you brought up Lollapalooza. That is so huge. And just, you know, in addition to that, you're also playing some other great summer festivals to close out summer here. Lollapalooza, Outside Lands. Tell us more.
Yeah, I mean, Lolla and Outside Lands are like my favorite festivals. So I'm just stoked to like A, get to play, but B, just get to go for the weekend. Like I love just like running around listening to live music. So that'll be fun. And then we're doing Rock and Sin in France, which is gonna be really, really fun. We're doing Reading in the UK. And then I'm hopping on the Tove Lo tour, which is gonna be like a dream. I'm the biggest fan of her, and like her fans are incredible. And yeah, I get to open for her for like a couple of weeks, which is gonna be a blast. I'm really excited.
So, you know, when I think of an artist, I always think of like, okay, how do you beat that? Like the nerves. You have to go on stage and look out to that many people. But when you're playing a festival like Lollapalooza, Outside Lands, or even traveling overseas, I mean, the people, Upsal, when you look out into that crowd, how the heck do you beat those nerves?
It's weird. For some reason, for me, it's like the opposite. It's like when I'm like side stage or like waiting to go on, that's when I'm nervous. I'm like, oh no, like I hope everything works out. I hope everyone out there likes me. And that's when I freak out. And then it's like the second I walk on stage and the second I see everybody's faces, I'm like, oh, we're like in this together. Like we're just having fun. And that's actually what calms the nerves that I have like before a show. For me, the audience is like such a calming force, because at the end of the day, like whether you're on the stage or you're in the audience, I feel like everyone's in this like shared experience. And like I think it's just your responsibility, I think, as a performer, is to just make it the best possible experience for everyone else, you know?
It's amazing. That in itself is a talent, okay? I mean, really, that
Love
adrenaline I'm sure helps too. But
it. Oh gosh, yeah.
no, I'm looking at all